Welcome to Tail Talk Grooming Chronicles with Hound Therapy, the podcast where we talk all things pet grooming, daycare, academy, and more. Hosted by Shannon and Tanya of Hound Therapy, serving pet owners across North Texas. We're here to share expert tips, hilarious pet stories, and the inside scoop on keeping your furry friends happy and healthy. Our motto, humanity over vanity. And don't worry, we don't bite. Let's get started.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Not all puppies come from the same beginning, but how does that impact their grooming needs, behaviors, and long-term care? Let's break down the real-life differences between rescues, breed-raised pups, and store-bought pets. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Sophia Yvette, co-host and producer, back in the studio today with Shannon and Tanya, professional groomers at Hound Therapy. Hi, ladies. How are you today?
Fantastic.
Good.
How are you?
I'm also fantastic. Now, I can't wait to dig into the background stories behind the dogs we welcome to the grooming table. This one's important. What are the differences between rescue puppy versus breeder versus store-bought puppies?
Oh, so many places to start. Let's start with rescue puppies, right? Rescue puppies are, you kind of know what you're going to get depending on the rescue. And, it's kind of a 50-50, choice. You've got a kind of a breed that you're going with, a breed that it looks like. That doesn't necessarily mean the breed that it is, but you can almost see a finished product, especially if it's not if it's 4 months old, 5 months old.
Most will already be spayed or neutered.
Yeah.
Most of the time, depending on the rescue, vaccinated, all of that.
And that's a huge plus because you're not going to get that typically from your breeder or from just a random pet store, which sadly they're just popping up everywhere right now, which is kind of nuts to me. So that said, a rescue puppy, if you've got problems, if you don't have problems, puppies are puppies, and they pretty much have the same imprint moments, and they're all of them are, if you put the time and effort in, are very trainable. They may have been scared to come from a bad story whatever the case may be, but as soon as you hit that next imprint moment, and what I mean by that, the next growth spurt, the next month, there's
milestone.
Yeah, there's certain just like with children, there's certain moments that babies tend to do certain things, and puppies and dogs are the same way. Let's go to breeders. I am pro and con with breeders. You got to stay away from puppy mills.
Yeah, reputable breeders are definitely, do your research on the breeders. Usually with a breeder, you know what dog you're going to get. And especially if you're buying a dog for a specific purpose, whether that be a service dog, anything of those sorts, whether it be a hunting dog, something specific.
High energy.
Yep.
If you're looking for a dog that has a certain length of life, if you're looking for a dog that's got a certain type of a personality, and if you don't really, you never really know about everybody's medical, but you do have a pretty big advantage of going through a breeder that has documented mother and father, grandparents, great grandparents that kind of go through, that have, been tested by vets. You're breeding for genetics versus, sometimes you're breeding for temperament as well, but breeders, a good breeder will breed for both. And if it's a dog that doesn't, a lot of allergy problems, ear problems, it's missing, a weird toe on one side, or, whatever it is, usually a good breeder will not breed that dog anymore.
Right.
Or wouldn't breed one of those puppies and recommend that dog gets spayed or neutered immediately before they even
Or they would
sell it.
spay or neuter it before they even get rid of it.
Now, store-bought.
That's a whole
I'm not
nutshell.
For me, puppies that come from a store, if you can find them online, first of all, there's a lot of scammers out there, so beware. What we don't want is for you to come back and spend $3,500 plus on a doodle or on a Shih Tzu or a lab, whatever it is that you buy that you got from a pet store, where you are getting this dog from a $12 paid employee, and we don't know who owns it. We don't know where the
Right.
dog came from. It's not
They
documented.
usually don't have any background health wise.
They're not vaccinated. And if they are vaccinated, it's usually,
First round, usually.
some you're in the vet world, they may even go all the way up to rabies or say, hey, we'll cover that, but they're definitely not spayed or neutered. And they're usually not well bred. You've got to think like anything else. And if you're going to buy it and sell it, somebody's buying it for cheaper and they're selling it for more, because that's how they're being able to make a profit. Unfortunately, I'm a big thumbs down for store-bought puppies.
Yeah, I've seen a few that are good, but for the majority of the ones I've seen, they're just not great.
And then that said, breeder versus rescue. Rescues usually are a little cheaper.
Yeah.
To acquire. Plus, you're giving an opportunity for a new dog. You kind of can see what you've got, and in those cases, you're getting kind of an all-in-one. Hey, look, this is the dog size that I want. It's the vision. It's the look, and you're helping somebody out. You're keeping a dog off the street. Plus, they usually come. If you're coming through a rescue group, they're coming with most of their medical, kind of full frontal. Then breeder, knowing exactly what you're getting, but it's a lot more costly just because you're paying for all of the past medical visits as well. The new medical visits, it's kind of, you're paying for
the bloodlines,
what exactly. Yeah. Whether it's a temperament or but you'll know exactly what you're going to get, and you're going to know your quirks of each breed because those are usually going to be in with their breeder. So there's pros and cons to all. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to talk about puppies. We love puppies.
Love puppies.
Hopefully that answers it for you guys.
Definitely. Now, final question for you today. How does temperament vary between each origin, and what should groomers keep in mind when it comes to these puppies from these different places?
Well, the temperaments, if it's a true puppy, 6 months and under, the rescue temperament could be a little different. They might be a little bit more nervous and shy depending on their backstory. But you have the same kind of a thing with a breeder too. If it's a puppy that is, top of the breeder or bottom of its breed, right? There's a pecking order for sure. So being able to pick out the right puppy is a different thing. Store-bought, I'm going to put store-bought with rescue. So we're going to kind of keep those the same. Temperament-wise, you're going to depend on if you're buying a dog that is a working dog, a Vizsla, a Labrador, a poodle, a standard poodle, a Jack Russell Terrier, Golden Retriever. These are all dogs that are bred for working. They have high energy. So if you're going to get a high energy dog, and we call it a 2-year dog or a 3-year dog. So let me clear that up, a 3-year dog or a 2-year dog. I can't say that enough. I have a Vizsla. She is a 3-year dog. It is 3 years before the puppy is out of her head. All of the training I have to do for her, it's like having a toddler from 7 weeks to 3 years. And sometimes it's even 4, but typically
mine was a 4.
3 years.
My Vizsla was a 4.
3 years to get them to where they are going to really recognize and understand commands and do what they need to do and be a fully functional, well-behaved dog. A lab is more of a 2-year dog. Now, you've got male and female that you've got to add into that. That doesn't mean that's true for every single breed. Schnauzers are more of a 1-year dog. They're a smaller dog. They're hyper, but they learn everything they need to know within a year to 15 months. And they're usually pretty good. So by knowing your breeds and what you're wanting and what you're looking for versus a pug or a pom, a pug is what I call, it's a lap dog. Those little pocket pitties, the little pit bulls, they're not really, they don't do a lot. So that's a companion, right? Yorkies, you're not walking a Yorkie around the block to get all of the energy out for them. Same with the Poms. So that's a dog you're going to stick in your purse, put on your lap, and when you're working from home.
They're more chill.
Yeah. So it's you got to get what fits your personality.
And your lifestyle.
Correct. I'm a high strung kind of person. So I've got a high strung dog and we get along beautifully. If I had a dog that just sat on the couch all day, it really wouldn't do me any good because I'd be gone. So.
I have both of those kind of dogs. Like I have a couch potato dog and I have a high strung dog. But they get along well and they fit into the family perfectly. So
2 high strung dogs are definitely not good. 2 mellow dogs are okay.
Opposites attract, right?
Right.
Thanks for walking us through the unique journeys these pups take before they hit the grooming table. Can't wait to dive into more stories next time. We'll see you next time, Shannon and Tanya.
Have a great
You
day.
That's a wrap for this episode of Tail Talk with Hound Therapy. Ready to book your pet's next groom, daycare stay, or grooming academy tour? Call us at 469-367-0009. That's 469-367-0009 to schedule an appointment. Or visit us online at www.houndtherapy.com. Serving North Texas with expert pet care. Until next time, keep those tails wagging.